Hi. Yeah, we're here in the Chaos TV studio, and I'm here with Danny. We're going to be talking about gaming.
Hello.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. So, why is it that you enjoy gaming?
Well, I enjoy gaming personally as more of a stress reliever to to entertain myself or catch up with friends.
Yeah. And when you say catch up with friends, do you just mean just playing with them in general, friendly competition?
It can be in many aspects. I mean, in playing with my friends can be with playing against them in a friendly competition, like working with them in a team scenario, or being absolutely terrified with them in something like a horror game.
Sounds fun. And do you think that gaming could possibly go on to career aspects?
Definitely, I think gaming itself can lead into many aspects of a career-wise thing. Like obviously the main one, like YouTube or Twitch streaming, because as you can see, YouTube has developed alongside gaming YouTubers such as Markiplier or Jacksepticeye.
Yeah.
And moving away from Twitch streaming or YouTube, it can lead into like more actual jobs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not to diss YouTubers. But like Minecraft, people who play Minecraft can like possibly go into architecture, or people like one of my personal favourite games, Cuphead. The animation style of that, it was completely all hand drawn itself, and that could lead someone into being really interested into animation and going into that.
Yeah. And going back to what you said, where you said that your favourite game was Cuphead, why is that?
It's my favourite game is Cuphead because it applies challenge, so it's not too easy. You have to learn the way the game moves, its controls. You have to learn the patterns of each enemy.
Yeah. So, if you're playing online with friends, how would you stay safe?
Well, one way to stay safe if you're online with friends, so people you don't know could interact, is you could just completely ignore people, find a setting within the settings to turn off, online chat, so they can't even talk to you even if they tried. Or if someone does talk to you, try to keep the interaction as brief as possible.
Yeah. When you say as brief as possible, you talking minimal conversations?
Yeah, like minimal conversations, because personally, if I was in an online scenario and someone who I didn't know came up and talked to me, I'd, do the polite of, hello, hi, nice to meet ya, and just try to leave it at that, try to go back to my friends and what I was doing.
Yeah. Would you say that there's any larger risks in gaming?
Not particularly. Like, there are definitely some risks, as, stranger danger. Could be some people with like malicious intent behind it.
Yeah.
But there's not many people as you would think, because most people are just like, the average gamer. They're going on there for, their own reasons to play a game, be to challenge, play with friends. But the risk is still there.
Yeah.
So it's best to be careful.
And what would you say the effects of different games are?
The effects?
Yeah.
Well, some games like Minecraft per se, and games like Stardew Valley can, like a stress relieving type game. It's more peaceful. Like you can go farming in Stardew Valley. You can build a big house in Minecraft. So it's, you go on there for like just casual fun, just minimal enjoyment. But then more games like Valorant, Apex Legends, and Call of Duty, they can be more stressful because, well, it's an online thing. You're going up against people, and some people could be better than you. You could just be having a really off day. It could be stressful, it could be fun.
Yeah.
Flip of the coin.
In some of those games, is there any way that you can get a fulfillment of just
Definitely. Getting fulfillment from games can range from being quite easy to quite hard. Like in my own personal favourite, Cuphead, from beating a boss that takes you forever, that can be very fulfilling.
Yeah. And
more
after the fulfillment, is it often like very calm after that in games?
After the fulfillment, it can go to be very calm. It can be very exciting. Like, you're playing, I don't have an example, but say you've just been playing a game for like hours, you're trying to beat a boss, it's really stressing you, then you finally beat it, you just want to jump up and cheer.
Yeah. Going back to playing online with friends, is there any competitive gaming you really do with people?
Personally, I'm not competitive, but there are the odd occasions where things can get competitive with friends in friendly competition. Like playing, it's like in a battle royale, we're playing against each other. I want to win.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Danny. And we'll go back to the studio with Ross and Maya.
Lovely stuff. Well done to Kai.
Well done, Kai and Danny. Absolutely smashed that. And it could be nerve-wracking doing your first
It's like your first
presenting
interview
gig.
that you ever do. You're like, oh my gosh, this is like, is this right? Am I okay? And
Yes.
it generally always is.
Yeah. And it was really interesting as well, hearing the talks about gaming. As a gamer yourself,
Yeah.
just hearing you guys talk about the career aspects that can come from it. And I'm glad that they touched on the online safety of it as well. 'Cause
Yeah, really important.
it's important, isn't it?
Really, really important. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. It's great to see you again. So we are doing our work experience segment at the moment.
Yes, we
So
are.
we're going to be going straight back into the TV studio with Kai and his next guest, Ebony, who's going to be discussing songs with hidden meanings. So let's hand on over and go.
Welcome back. Still in the TV studio. And I'm joined with Ebony this time. He's going to be talking about music. Specifically music from 80s. So
Yeah.
what type of music do you enjoy, really?
Well, the type of music I normally listen to is kind of in the 80s rock music genre. The reason why I listen to that is it just comforts me and it also helps me focus on work and all that. And the reason why I'm interested in that is one time I was really trying to focus on some of the work and I couldn't exactly do it because my mind was going other places. As soon as I heard one song playing in the living room, it was one of the songs from the 80s. So I went in the living room and I asked my brother, what song is this? And he said, oh, this is a song by Guns N' Roses. And I was like, sounds pretty good. Can I have the name of it? He's like, yeah, sure. And he told me it, and afterwards I managed to get so much work done just by listening to that type of music. And afterwards I was like, you know what? I need some more songs from the 80s now. So I just started to get a playlist together and I listened to them over and over again. And I just like it for that reason.
You mentioned that your family helped you get into that kind of music. Is there any person in particular that was a great help?
Usually it was my brother, because he's the one that listens to most of the music from like back in the day, 70s, 80s, 90s. He's the reason why I just listen to the ones in the 80s. And every time I do, he's like, so how are you doing with this? And I'm like, really good. And half of the time I'm just listening to music from the 80s. But my brother was the reason why I started listening to it in the first place.
You also mentioned that one of the bands you said was Guns N' Roses. Is that one of your favourite bands?
I would say it is one of my personal favourites because I just like it because Guns N' Roses, I can properly just listen to it, and it also does help me focus on a lot of work. But yeah, Guns N' Roses is my personal favourite.
And is there any other music genres that you are really interested in?
I would say one of the songs from Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love? I personally like that one because it basically tells what is going on with the world and how it shows in this day and age. So like with so many young people in this world, they're growing up with like some people that are getting on with like inequalities and all of that, and how it shows that we need to accept each other, learn to love one another, and just don't be different. That's all.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ebony. Welcome back. We're still in the studio, and Ebony is still here. So, going back to music, there is some huge genres out there, but what is your all-time favourite?
I would say my all-time favourite would be Earth Song, due to it talks about a lot about the earth, and basically what's going on with today is climate change and all of that. Everything that's going on with that just basically links in with the Earth Song, how it just shows that what we're doing to the planet is with the climate change, how it shows like what we're doing to the planet. Say for instance, in the UK right now, most of the heat that's coming in is due to climate change. And if we don't reduce that, then we're just basically going to have heat waves, and it's going to cause a lot of problems for everyone else. Not everyone else in the world, just, well, some of us in the world, basically.
Yeah, so you're very interested in all of the songs with some sort of meaning behind it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you said Earth Song, yeah?
Yeah.
And do you know who that's by?
Well, I know the original Earth Song is done by Michael Jackson, but I'd say I've listened to one recently by Kelsey Kay, and I say that one is kind of better because it does talk a lot about the Earth. It talks about what's going on in the planet, and yeah, all that.
So yeah, if you had to pick one song out of all of the songs you've listened to before, and it had to be your favourite, what would that be?
Well, if we would go into the 80s, it would definitely be Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child O' Mine. But if we're going to be linking into politics and all of that and climate change, I definitely would say Earth Song. Earth Song would be that at the top.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we have time for, so thank you, Ebony.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to our work experience takeover moment that we've got going on today. It is all really good vibes.
The guys
really
are doing
vibes.
a cracking job so far.
They're doing absolutely amazing so far. So we're now going to go to George with Rudy, who are going to have a healthy conversation about politics and social justice. So we're going to hand over to you guys, smash it, and we'll see you in a sec.
Hello. So we're in the Chaos studio right now. I'm with my lovely guest. Hello.
Hi.
How are we doing?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, good. Amazing. So we're going to be talking about politics today, more specifically law and kind of like how that is kind of like in the society.
Yeah.
So can you just tell me a bit how you kind of like got into this? What was the kind of like leading factor?
Okay, so, well, I was never really into politics to begin with. I wasn't like raised on a big political household. But once I went to secondary school, I met a lot of people that had their own political opinions and were quite open about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of got me interested. So I know, I kind of built on my own political views.
Amazing. Okay. So, I mean, personally, I don't know a lot about politics in general. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not good with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really insightful today to hear from you. That's going to be amazing. So what would you say is like, how would you view the political situation in England at the moment?
Okay, political situation, I mean, gotta be honest, it could be better. Obviously with current events, with the resigning Boris Johnson, I'd say the political state's been stronger, and it's been weakened by the loss of, MPs and the resignation of Boris.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of been a blow to the state.
Yeah, I mean, it could always be better. There's always been there's been quite strong characters in the England's political party, that's for sure. So, kind of going on a recent note, obviously the Boris has actually resigned from his placement. Do you think that's a bad thing, good thing? Kind of like balance each other out. What are your kind of views on that?
Okay, well that's definitely down to interpretation. With how people view Boris, he stood by one rule when he kind of got the role as Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He said that he was going to end the Brexit ordeal. And the way I see it, after Brexit was finished, he didn't really have anything else. And his ideas kind of went, not really downhill, because he didn't really have many new ideas to go downhill.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, so you don't think it was kind of too badly affected? I mean, he just didn't have many ideas.
He didn't. And with the Conservative Party, I reckon that it's going to affect them, but the only reason Boris is staying in the role of Prime Minister at the moment is because they're trying to find a new Tory leader at the moment, Conservative leader.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So, going to quite a recent event, so there's been quite a lot of debate on whether this heat wave that we've recently had is due to a lot of due to climate change and carbon emissions and all of these contributing factors. So what do you think, firstly, what's your view on that? Because I want to hear your view first.
My view on the heat wave and climate change, I mean, I'm here to discuss politics, not really the science behind it. I reckon that with changing temperatures, there's obviously that chance, but you'd have to ask someone that knows more about the science and behind the actual temperature changes. So yeah, I don't really have much of a view on that, but if you want to ask someone that knows more about it, then yeah.
Yeah, okay. So would you think that the political party can do to kind of encourage change in kind of like society or countries even?
Okay, so with encouraging change, first I'm going to quickly discuss the COP26 campaign.
Right, okay.
And how that was supposed to change a lot, but then obviously we had the dropout from India and China with the whole coal not completely cutting out.
Very big contributors of carbon emissions.
Very big
Absolutely,
contributors.
yeah.
With, fossil fuels, obviously, their main ones being coal. And they refused to fully cut out coal. And personally, I'd see that as down to a profit thing. Obviously, China and India, they both manufacture a lot of
big manufacturers, absolutely.
Yeah, they manufacture a lot of the world's products.
Yes.
So they had to keep that fuel around to power factories and such to make profit for themselves.
Yeah.
So what we can do as a nation to affect the global state of climate change is probably to try our hardest to try and get everyone on board. Once we have people on board, we can actually focus on the big cuts that everyone's willing to do.
Amazing. Yeah, so just kind of bringing everyone together and kind of just making a big, hard-hitting decision. Because, I mean, it's been talked about for years, but no one's actually kind of stepped forward and said, okay, we're here. This needs to change.
I mean, the only way I see it is to get through climate change. The only thing we can really do is work on it together as a planet. And we're not going to be able to achieve complete, climate change reduction, on our own. We need everyone involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, really good views. Yeah, amazing. So I think we're going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Ukraine and Russia, and obviously Putin's like ordeals and kind of opinions. So what are your views on that? What are you kind of thinking?
Firstly, I'm not going to delve too much into the war, but more of the political side of Putin.
Yeah.
And with Putin, obviously we know he's a dictator, right? He runs Russia by himself in a very kind of, you know,
very large political status.
I've got all
absolutely.
the power kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So have you heard what he's trying to do with, like, trying to reduce the Russian public's understanding of what's going on?
Yes, yeah, kind of that hiding them away and kind of, yes, yeah, okay.
I mean, obviously there's still news getting in. There was a lot of protests from the Russian public because obviously they weren't too happy with the fact that Russia's, one, fighting this big war, and two, trying to cover it up from them for some reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, no, yeah, that's, you know, these are quite big allegations, aren't they? But yeah, I think they need to be said. Yeah, no, that's really good. So obviously I'm a person that doesn't know a load about politics. So if you were going to kind of like introduce this to kind of like an amateur to kind of like politics, law, kind of like the society around us, what would you kind of do to kind of change their understanding?
Well, firstly, with politics, firstly I would explain it as there's two different major sides. And this is kind of the broad scale, and this kind of, it comes down, say in the UK we've got Conservative and Labour, right? They all come onto this scale of, imagine a line, and on the right side we've got what's known as capitalism, on the left side we've got what's known as communism, right? And they both have very big policies that oppose each other, right? Capitalism is kind of, everyone can start up their own business, and if you start off with wealth, you're more likely to grow wealth as a result.
Yeah.
And that's where the saying capitalism makes the poor poorer and the rich richer comes from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with communism, it's all controlled by either one person in a dictatorship. Communism is often linked with dictatorships. And I mean, it can be run by governments, but communism is more, it's more linked to, like, the government kind of controls all private businesses. So there's not really much profit for everyone, and everything's shared out, basically.
Yeah. So obviously there's a lot there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, you guys watching have a far better understanding, and thank you so much, Rudy, for kind of like enlightening the political situation.
You're welcome.
So yeah, back to you in the studio.